I'm Peter Lang and I'm Principal, Head Teacher here at Uxbridge High School, a secondary school in Hillingdon, West London. Well, we approach that very seriously at this school. There is an issue about school budgets at the moment. Everybody's looking to make the best use of their finite resources, and we actually quite like some of the ideas behind giving more freedom to schools to make their decisions. But there is a concern, and I think there is a concern for a number of reasons. Firstly, there are more young people possibly facing up to the challenge of unemployment and employment. The rates for 16 to 25-year-olds has gone up in recent months, and that's a challenge. Also, if we're not careful, we could end up with a system that does not give young people what they need. And we think it's really important that school is about preparing young people for the world of work, as well as for many other things too. And so we take that very seriously in our school, and we put in a number of activities and resources to do that. We actually think that the workplace is a very good discipline for young people, and we've got lots of evidence of that over the last years in this school. Well, this is an outstanding school now. It wasn't always, and we've been congratulated on the stuff we do to do with work-related learning. And we find that many of our young people, 15 or 16, that go on work experience, really turn a corner by being on that. I've got many examples from last year and previous years, and what worries me is if we leave work experience till they're 16, we would have lost them. They will become this dreadful phrase, NEETs. And I hate that phrase because it's a negative phrase, but they potentially could. And we think that good targeted work experience at the ages of 15 or 16 can really make a big difference, and I would regret very much if that was to go. We still keep it here at the moment. Many schools in this area have stopped doing it. Many schools in the country are just doing it for the sixth form, but we think it's really important, as I said, the discipline of the workplace. Well, I'll give you an example for work experience. I've just said we're committed to it. Our fees for doing that have doubled. They were just over £5,000 last year to send out our year 10s. It's gone up to over £10,000. So I've got to think about, is that value for money? It is, but I've got to find the money to do that. In answer to your question there, I do slightly worry that in the vacuum that will be left now with providers, that young people might not get the right deal. Having said that, we are working with another school in another borough that we're linked in with to consider going in on a joint project and buying in this external expertise, which would be of benefit to all of our students. So there are some advantages, but we could be faced with a position, it's this transition, isn't it, from a sort of centralised system to a much more localised. And I do worry that some schools may, and some children may miss out. I think they're mixed, but I mean, we try and do both here because we say that our young people should have the highest academic standards. So that's good literacy, good numeracy, good at science, good at modern foreign languages. But also we want to give our young people what I call self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, because that makes you a good adult. And employers need those kind of softer social skills in employment. And I think it's important that we give young people both, actually. And that would equip them well for the world of work and for the world of university. But school isn't just about that, is it? It's about giving people an understanding of the arts, of sport, about looking after themselves, healthy lifestyles. It's all of these things too. A love of reading, a love of writing, those kind of things, which are slightly harder to measure. So we are really important. I always say to the young people, they've got to get good jobs, they've got to pay good taxes to pay for my retirement. And that's what the country needs, isn't it? It needs young people that are equipped for the world, ever-changing, globalised workplace. We've got the president of the CBI coming to our school in September, Sir Roger Carr, to give a talk, and he's coming to our awards evening. So I suppose that's a microcosm of how important we place linking with the business community, with the school. We'd be very interested to see what he says, but we also want him to hear what schools are doing. And so when we have these local employers coming in to interview, quite often the banks, BT, others, they deliberately select some of their staff to come here and interview to help train them. So actually it's a win-win. It's not just our young people that are benefiting, it's their people that are also benefiting from getting out and into the schools, seeing what is going on, being positive with young people, being trained in that respect. And I think there's a bit more opportunity to be a bit more creative about that. We've got very good links with the airport, with British Airports Authority and British Airways. And we've had some young people down there on work experience. They go down there for a real full-blown interview before they get taken on, which is great for them. And it really sets the pulse running and gives them a great experience. And I think that discerning employers, people that do look for the long term, do realise that. And they want to work with schools. And that's why we're thinking about doing this event, because in a way it's, for a school, we've got a job to do to explain what we're doing. But also employers have got to be able to listen and see the practical aspects of what we're doing in schools and not just rely on what they read in the press.